So, first question, easy one. What do you think of animals?
I fucking love animals. I have a cat. Like, I think they're just the best. They're just like cute and like furry as fuck.
I agree.
I'm not allowed to swear.
I'll say whatever you want, it's fine.
Okay.
Animal abuse or people who abuse animals, what do you think of it or them?
I think it's people that abuse animals. I just think that it's people that are really fucked up in the head, and they're just like, and they don't see animals like people that actually like feel things, but like they actually do like they feel things, like the same as like all sorts of shit.
Of course they do. Animals feel pain. All
like
simple for me. It's simple for me. Everybody feels pain of animals, including animals.
I have a cat. Like I can imagine like touching an animal. Like it would just.
I agree with you, man. So the third question is, how would you describe abuse, or how would you qualify abuse? What would you say it was?
I'd qualify abuse as, in both the physical and mental sense, of taking advantage of someone when you think they're vulnerable, which is what people do to animals.
You actually said the words that I was going to say back to you. It's mental or physical abuse, especially when it's not necessary. If you're bringing harm to somebody when it's not necessary. The fourth question, I'm going to warn you, is harder, but there's no judgment with it because I used to pay for it too. And it's a tricky question, but I want you to think about it. What about the animals that we take into slaughterhouses? And we turn them into leather, and we turn them into burgers and sausages and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that?
See, to be honest, I'm a big burger fan. Like,
okay.
I'm not a big, but like I make, like, I'm not a vegetarian. But I think it's just, I wouldn't buy like leather clothing because I think that's just like, in a way, ripping it like slightly. Well, just for me personally, I think that is just going a bit too far.
Okay.
Like, I use animals for food, like that's just how it's always been. But using animals for clothes and things are unnecessary.
Well, let me slightly correct you. We see animals as food, and we always have. But animals are not food. I think they're individuals, just like you and me, and they're here to live their life just like you and me are.
Are you vegetarian?
I'm vegan.
Oh, you're vegan. Right,
and I'm an animal rights activist as well. So I've been on farms, I've been in slaughterhouses, and I've seen what we do to the animals. My point would be, if you can simply eat or wear something else instead, then, and it's not necessary to eat them. I haven't eaten an animal product since I was 19, right?
What did you not?
56.
Oh, right.
So I've thrived in my entire life, and the science is in now. It says we can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet. Well then, what would be the justification for taking animals into a slaughterhouse, shooting them in the head, cutting their throats, putting them in gas chambers, electrocuting them? Have you ever thought of that before in that way?
See, to be honest, I really respect that opinion, and I think if I was to look more into it, I would agree completely.
I think you would too, from what you said at the start.
Honestly, I think if I did look into it more and I like got educated on it, I would completely agree. I'm just right. I still live. Still live with my family and all.
I know that. I get it.
Eat all the food
I get it. So I stopped eating. Let me tell you this. I'm talking way back in the 1980s now. I stopped drinking milk when I was 5. I stopped eating fish when I was 6. I stopped pork when I was 7 years old, and red meat when I was 10 or 11. So if I could do that then, it's easy to be vegan now. It would just be a matter of asking your parents to buy you. People, you wouldn't mind moving to the side, lads? We sang some film in there, if you don't mind. They're trying to be funny.
Do you find it easy?
Easy.
Easy to be a vegan?
See, everybody I know who's vegan, and I know hundreds of vegans, they'll all tell you the same thing. And just right. So, every vegan will tell you the same thing. 2 weeks before they went vegan, they're thinking, "Shit, what am I going to eat? I don't know what to eat." And see, 2 weeks after they do it, they'll all tell you it was the easiest thing they've ever done, and it's the best thing they've ever done. And you know the best thing about it? You know the best thing about going vegan? You go to your bed at night and you haven't paid anybody to harm an animal unnecessarily. And that's a good feeling. That could be like a moral cleanse, I suppose. Like that could feel good. Because it's a philosophy. It's a way of life. It's a way of doing this. Not seeing animals as objects, number one, which you said they weren't at the start. You said they were anyone.
Yeah, there's some. I love animals.
Your cat is a cat person in my eyes. She's not a thing. Things are like this and this. These are things.
Got like
emotionless object. They have feelings. They feel pain. They miss you. And see, farmed animals are exactly the same. Cows have best friends, they love their mothers, and the things we do to them, and pigs as well. I'm going to tell you one thing we do in one industry. I know your friends are probably waiting on you. Can I tell you one thing we do to animals in this country that people don't know about? And it's just one industry. So the pigs, do you know what we do to them when we take them to the slaughterhouse? I actually don't. I honestly have no clue about that, to be honest. How would you feel, or would you be surprised to find out that we put them in gas chambers? I would, yeah, to be honest. I thought they just... I don't know how it works. I thought they just kind of died. So they put them in cages, 2 or 3 at a time, force them inside, and they're dropped down in a carbon dioxide gas chamber, which is suffocation. It's taking your oxygen away. And they're in there for about a minute and a half, screaming out. Man, I've stood right beside it and listened to it.
Have you been there?
Yeah,
That's
I used to do.
so
I used to do vigils at it, so they'd stop the trucks for us coming in, and we could spend a few minutes with them, which seems maybe crazy to you. But if they were dogs, it would do the same thing. If they were cats, it would do the same thing. If it was human beings, I would do the same thing.
Well, there's no really there's nothing really distinguishable between them. They're all living creatures, like us and animals.
See, man, see your mindset. You have a vegan mindset already. You have.
Yeah, should I be a vegan?
You should be a vegan because the things you're saying, you sound like me. You know animals feel pain and suffer. You know that it's not necessary. It's just you've been taught your entire life that you have to eat
Chicken nuggets.
chicken for protein, which
Yeah.
you don't. If I asked you why do you drink milk, what have you been taught?
Just because good, strong for your bones.
Calcium,
Yeah,
which is
calcium.
bullshit. So let me tell you one fact. The 4 countries in the world with the highest rates of osteoporosis, which is what dairy is supposed to cure or be good for, they have the highest consumption of dairy products. The countries that don't consume dairy products have virtually no osteoporosis at all.
So it's kind of just like something that people are putting into people's brains about.
Man, these industries are multi-million pound industries. They're worth millions and millions and millions of pounds, and everywhere you go on every billboard like that one up there, you'll see chicken pushed at you, you'll see cheese pushed at you, you'll see beef burgers pushed at you, sausages pushed at you. Everywhere you go, there's very few people like me out in the street telling people these things are not necessary.
I respect your opinion. I'm gonna have to spit here.
I'm going to give you a card before you go. It'll take like 10 seconds.
Literally lovely to meet you.
What's your name, man?
Max Power.
Max, I'm going to get, you said you would look into it further, so I'm going to give you something to look into it further.
Literally no problem. I will have a look at it.
You have a vegan mindset, man. I know you have a good heart for animals, so that's where I was coming from as well. That's my YouTube channel. See this one?
YouTube?
Yeah. See this one at the bottom? The
Yeah.
best speech you'll ever hear, Gary Yourofsky. 40 minutes long. Watch that sometime. If I've given you something to think about today, watch him and he will push you way down the road.
It's going to a pocket. It won't come out until I get home.
Appreciate
Lovely
you,
to
man.
meet you, mate.
You too,
Love
bro.
your mindset.
All right.